Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sonak. Sonak, introduce करो खुद को.
Sir, I am Shaunak Sarkar. I am from Howrah, West Bengal. I have passed my class 10 and class 12 from Shibpur SSPS Vidyalaya with around 92% marks in both the exam. I have passed my BE in Chemical Engineering this year with a aggregate GPA of 8.74, and I have cleared GATE 2021 in Chemical Engineering with a rank of 57. In my second year, I have done my research internship from IIT Guwahati on the topic of preparation of polymer hydrogel and its application in wound dressing. And in my third year, due to COVID restrictions, I have performed my online summer internship from IICHE on the topic of petroleum refinery engineering. Coming to my family background, my father is a civil engineer and my mother is a homemaker. And apart from academics, I love to play chess and paint.
You love to play chess.
Chess.
Okay. So is the current grandmaster in chess.
And world champion, there are many grandmasters. And world champion is Magnus Carlsen, but there are around 2000 plus grandmasters in the world.
Okay. So have you played chess from any state level, national level?
No, sir, I have played in my school team, but not in that high level.
Okay. Good. So you mentioned you did internship in IIT Guwahati.
Yes, sir.
What is the topic? What is the topic you mentioned?
Sir, the topic was preparation of polymer hydrogel and its application in wound dressing.
Preparation of molecular hydrogen.
Polymer hydrogel. Polymer hydrogel.
Polymer hydrogen. Now, what is polymer hydrogen?
Sir, polymer hydrogel normally constitutes of four components. The PVA and starch made the polymer base, which is the biodegradable, and then we added malic acid or tartaric acid as an additive, which was mainly the cross-linking agent, which imparts water resistibility and mechanical strength. And then we added glycerol, which acts as a plasticizer. It has very high hydrophilicity, which can absorb the wound exudates very well, and also it allowed passage for the gas exchange from the wound, and therefore it promotes the epithelialization and granulation of the wound very well. So it can be used as a biodegradable wound dressing material.
Okay, so how this polymer hydrogen is different than normal hydrogen?
Sorry, sir, no idea.
Have you heard about a term green hydrogen?
Probably the hydrogen which is used as a fuel is termed as green hydrogen, which is used in fuel cells, and it is also developed. Also, it is now recently used in fuel cell cars. Oh, no.
No.
Sorry, sir,
Have you heard about
of
this green hydrogen, gray hydrogen, brown hydrogen? Have you heard these terms?
No, sir.
Heard these terms. Okay. Tell me about your favorite subjects.
Sir, my favorite subjects are heat transfer and mass transfer.
Heat transfer and mass transfer. Great. Okay. So tell me any 5 industries in which distillation is used.
Sir, distillation is used in the atmospheric and vacuum distillation towers in refinery. Cryogenic distillation is employed in separation of nitrogen, oxygen, and argon from air, and extractive distillation is used in order to concentrate the produced nitric acid in nitric acid industry, and azeotropic distillation is used in order to remove water from a number of organic compounds like ethanol, chloroform, acetone, and also distillation is used. And also distillation is used to recover the part of solute or part of reactant after the absorber or from the products of the absorber on the reactor.
Okay. Sonak, my question was, first of all, listen my question. My question was, tell me 5 industries. I'm not asking the processes. Tell me 5 industries in which the distillation operation is used. Industries.
Okay, sir. Okay. So, sir, petroleum refinery industry,
Yeah.
and another is the uh, air, the gas production from air, nitrogen, oxygen, and argon production from air,
Industry.
which is
Industry. Process name.
cryogenic distillation industry.
Cryogenic distillation industry. ऐसी कोई industry नहीं है.
The process is cryogenic distillation, but I mean, it is
Okay.
performed by industrial
Third one,
industry like and nitric acid production. This is another industry. Nitric acid is concentrated by extractive distillation method, and I mean, it is used as a part of the different many industry, but I can't recall any other two industries specifically use distillation.
No issue, no issue. Why distillation is preferred over extraction if liquid-liquid separation is being used?
So, sir, the main advantage of distillation over extraction is that the products we obtain from the distillation is very pure compared to that we obtain from extraction, because in extraction unit, the extraction unit normally consists of a very small part. The extract and raffinate phases which are obtained from the extraction needs to be further processed in order to obtain the pure products, and also in extraction the creation of phases and the separation of the phases are far more difficult. It needs mixer settler arrangement with vigorous stirring, whereas in separation we can just create and distillate and separate the phases by simply heating and cooling. I mean vaporization and condensation.
Okay. Tell me the difference between LNG and CNG.
Sir, LNG is the liquefied natural gas and CNG is the compressed natural gas. In CNG, normally the natural CNG is odorless, colorless, and very pure kind of natural gas, which is normally obtained by compressing the natural gas to a pressure of 20 to 25 megapascal, and it is stored in a hard nickel containers. Whereas LNG is done by LNG is produced by mainly refrigeration methods and different kind of refrigeration methods or cascade refrigeration system from natural gas, and it is stored in cryogenic containers at a temperature of around minus 160 degrees centigrade. The LNG energy density of LNG is much more greater than CNG, so it is LNG is much easier to transport, but the storage cost of LNG is much more also because of its cryogenic nature.
Okay. Tell me the difference between compression and liquefaction.
So, sir, compression is a process in which you increase the pressure of a gas stream, and normally the temperature also increases in this process. But liquefaction is a process in which a part of the gas is certainly liquefied, because if we compress, it is not guaranteed the gas will always liquefy, because the gas has to come in the two-phase region in the TS or PV diagrams. So the compression is done in order to increase the pressure, but whereas liquefaction is done in order to create a fraction of liquid from the gas.
Okay. Okay. Tell me the use of baffles in the heat exchanger.
Sir, baffles generally induce turbulence in the cell side fluid, thus it alters the cell side flow path in each direction, and therefore induce turbulence and create heat transfer coefficient. Normally, baffles are used to increase the heat transfer coefficient in the expense of a higher pressure drop, whereas and also baffles support the tube bundle and prevents it from the effects of vibration.
Okay. If I want to increase the area of exchanger, should I increase the number of tubes or should I increase the length of the tubes?
The tube side heat transfer coefficient, you said, in order to increase the tube side.
And said if I want to increase the area, so there are two ways. One of the ways to increase the number of tubes. The another way is to increase the length of the existing tubes. So what should be the preferred choice?
I guess increasing the number of the tubes will be preferred to us, because in order to increase the number of the tubes, we just have to modify the tube sheet so that it can accommodate more and more tubes. But if we want to increase the length of the tubes, then the whole heat exchanger configuration needs to be remanufactured. It will increase the number of tube passes, or the the accommodation and the construction cost in order to increase the tube length will be much more compared to increase the number of tubes as far as I feel.
Okay. So one more question from my side. Just tell me the difference between conduction, convection, and radiation.
So conduction normally occurs in a continuous substance. Normally, it is the preferred mode of heat transfer in solids, whereas convection is the conduction in help. Where convection is normally referred to as conduction plus advection, and it is normally occur when there is a simultaneously flowing fluid or gas stream in order to with the material in which the heat needs to be transported. And radiation is the mode of heat transfer which occurs due to the vibrational and rotational motion of the atoms and molecules of the constituting material, and it doesn't really need any temperature difference as such to in order to radiation heat transfer to take place. And radiation is certainly the quickest mode of heat transfer, and the radiation wavelength travels in the speed of light, whereas we can't say whereas normally the speed of conduction and convection is far less compared to that of radiation. In order to increase the speed of convection, we may use some forced convection type of equipments, and normally the speeds of conduction varies from material to material.
Okay, मुझे बस इतना बताओ कि from you are at a temperature, particular temperature, your body is at a particular temperature. So are you emitting any radiations?
Yes, sir. All bodies above absolute zero emits energy in terms of radiation.
Okay, good. Gil sir?
Soumit, as I can see you in your CV, you got 92% marks in 10th standard. Then you got 91.6% in intermediate. Then you got 81% in your BTech. I can see a clearly decreasing trend. Can you tell me why?
Sir, because the main focus in my college curriculum was my preparation in GATE, which requires a far different kind of approach in order to what needs in success in semester examinations. Because semester exams are normally consist of solving a different kind of problems and different kind of approach. Let's say if we take the example in chemical engineering, there are many methods which are extensively required for semester exams, like the calculation of absorption tower, of calculation of the height of a cooling tower, which are not which are very rarely asked in GATE. So, and also in semester examination, we have to study a lot of topics which are not really relevant to chemical engineering as such, like strength of materials, and also we have to study basic electronics, these kind of things in which I was not very much interested in my initial years. So that's the reason of my not so good percentage in BTech.
That you given the explanation that why you got less marks in BTech compared to intermediate, right? Now, why you got less mark in intermediate when compared to high school?
It was a very slight decrease. I mean, any other day, I mean, it was 92.1 and 91.6. There is, I mean, I tried my
There
best,
should
but
be
anyway.
improvement, na? Rather, we should expect the improvement, na? 1 or 2% improvement.
Yes, sir, I tried for improve, but anyway, actually there are several 2 marks got cut by my school in my laboratory because I didn't perform well in my laboratory exams in physics. So that was one of the reasons, and also the chemistry paper I gave very bad. I mean, I scored only 87, which was not at all expected. So I mean, these two are the major.
So can we conclude from this that you are not good in experiments? You are good in theories, but you are not that much capable in experiments. Can we conclude from this?
No, sir, because the experiment which I performed in physics, actually I was absent in the day in which the experiment was actually conducted due to some health issues. But when it was performed in, and it was never redone, so when I faced to perform this experiment on the exam day, I faced some difficulties. But anyway, I always try to conduct experiments with utmost attention.
Can you tell me what is effectiveness of heat exchanger?
Yes, sir. Effectiveness is the actual heat transfer which is taking place inside of a heat exchanger to the ratio of, and its ratio of the maximum possible heat transfer which may take in a heat exchanger.
Okay. What is NTU and how NTU and effectiveness is related? Have you heard of NTU?
Yes, sir. NTU is the number of transfer unit, and it is given by UA by C minimum, where U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, A is the area of the heat exchanger, and C minimum is the minimum heat heat capacity, which is the product of which is the product of mass flow rate of a stream, and it is its specific heat. So and the NTU is a function, and the effectiveness of is a function of the NTU and the relative and the capacity ratio. Normally, epsilon is expressed as a function of NTU and R. In case of different type of heat exchangers, this relation varies.
If both hot and cold fluid has same specific heat, then which heat exchanger is more efficient, parallel flow or counter flow?
Sir, counter flow I think will always be more efficient than parallel flow if there is no certain restrictions are imposed.
I am giving you one more chance. Think properly. If one of the fluid is changing phase, let's say it's boiling or condensing. In that case, which heat exchanger is more effective, parallel or counter?
Counter.
Always counter.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because sir, if we observe the temperature profiles of in the counter flow and the co-current flow, then we will see that in co-current flow the exit temperature of the cold fluid can never exceed the inlet temperature of the hot fluid. So there is a restriction, and also the temperature difference in the co-current flow varies drastically. It is very high at the inlet and becomes very less at the outlet.
Sonak,
yes,
think
sir.
over it, sir. What is asking? Think over it. Tell me the delta TLM, logarithmic mean temperature difference value, in the case when one of the fluid is changing the phase. जब कोई एक फ्लूइड अपना फेस चेंज करता है तो उस केस में बताओ कि डेल्टा टीएलएम की वैल्यू किस केस में ज्यादा होती है, पैरेलल या काउंटर? तो मैं आंसर मिल जाएगा अपना जो सर पूछ रहे हैं.
Oh, sorry sir. It will be same in both of the cases. So I don't think that any of the configuration would make any significant change.
Okay, I'm giving you one further question. Suppose we have counter flow heat exchanger with hot and cold fluid having same heat capacity, counter flow heat exchanger. What will be LMTD?
Hot and cold fluid both having same heat capacity and counter current heat exchanger.
What will be LMTD?
The delta T1 minus delta T2 by ln of delta T1 by delta T2, which is the.
Yes. Tell me.
I mean, delta T1 is the temperature difference at the inlet, and delta T2 is the temperature difference between the streams at the outlet.
Okay, but.
Okay, सोनक, एक बार ये बताओ कि तुमने भी गेल के अलावा बाकी इंडस्ट्रीज के भी फॉर्म भरे होंगे, है ना? So why GAIL only? If you get selected in every industry, then why would you prefer GAIL or any other industry over that?
Since its inception in 1984, GAIL has been the country's largest natural gas manufacturer, distributor, and pipeline owner. And also, currently, the government is spending heavily on the renewables and natural gas in order to increase the percentage of natural gas in the energy bucket from 15% to current 6.2%. And GAIL being the nation's largest gas distributor and owner will play a pivotal role in this development. So I think it is an opportunity to me in order to join a company which has a very excellent track record and a bright future prospect. And also it will give me, and I believe that my skill set and the deep understanding of the chemical engineering fundamentals I possess, which not only benefit the company but also help me to acquire knowledge.
One last question. Tell me any 5 products of GAIL. 5 products.
Sir, the main products is natural gas. The second product is LPG. The third product is petrochemical. The fourth product is liquid hydrocarbons. And the fifth product is, the renewable energy sector is also a mainly product. It is not a product, but it is a major business vertical of GAIL.
Okay, good. So, Sonak, the interview was good, यार, है ना? But there are some key points जो आपको focus में रखने, ध्यान रखने, तो आप लिखना चाहो तो लिख सकते हो. Okay.
Sure, sir.
First of all, my suggestion is कि अपने introduction में do not mention about the training.
Okay, sir.
Do not mention about your training, because I don't think that you will be able to answer all the question from your training part. and because if you don't know the difference between the hydrogen and polymer hydrogen, so that will be an obvious question. So there is no need to mention the internship. If the interviewer asks if you did any internship anywhere, then you can mention, but don't mention on your own, okay, because that is not your strongest part. Okay, so don't mention that. And one of the second very important suggestion is you are answering very fast. Means I have to focus on your answers. I have to put up my mind to listen to your answers because you are way too fast. So maybe it's your natural way of talking, है ना? That can be, but if possible, try to be little slow. Because अगर इंटरव्यूअर को तुम्हारे आंसर सुनने के लिए दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा तो that is not right ना.
सुनेगा नहीं वो.
हाँ, सुनेगा ही नहीं, वो नहीं सुन पाएगा. So you are way too fast. तो थोड़ा सा अगर पेस अपना कम कर पाओ ना कल, तो बहुत अच्छा है. ठीक है, मतलब धीरे धीरे बताओ. And one more thing कि when the interviewer finishes the question, जैसे ही interviewer ने question finish किया, at the same time you start answering. You are not taking any time gap in between. So my suggestion is you can take a pause of 1-2 seconds, just think over that, okay, then you can answer better. That is my suggestion. एकदम बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. और हर क्वेश्चन के बाद ना आप एक जेस्चर करते हो. कैसा जेस्चर है? आपने क्वेश्चन सुना, जैसे क्वेश्चन फिनिश हुआ, इफ यू नो द आंसर, योर जेस्चर इज यस, तो आप आंसर बताने लगते हो. एंड इफ यू डो नॉट नो द आंसर, then your gesture is not like this. Your gesture is like a lost kid. Which question is this? What I know the answer, I don't know the answer. So just from your gesture, the interviewer knows कि ये आंसर बच्चे को आता है, ये आंसर नहीं आता, ये आंसर इसका prepared है, ये आंसर prepared नहीं है. So after that, whatever you say doesn't matter. Let's say if your gesture is like a lost kid, so whatever your answer is na, that answer don't matter to me because from your gesture I get to know that you don't know the answer. सो इंटरव्यूअर को हिंट मत दो आप कि आपको किस क्वेश्चन का आंसर आता है, किसका नहीं आता है ना. अगर आपको जेस्चर देना है तो सब में यस करो, भले आपको आ रहा हो नहीं आ रहा हो, सब में यस करो, या सब में करो ही मत. ओके, सो अदरवाइज यू आर टू प्रिडिक्टेबल दैट वेदर यू नोस द आंसर ऑफ दैट और नॉट. मींस ईदर यू, इफ योर आंसर इज राइट, यू आर जेस्चरिंग इट लाइक दिस, एंड इफ यू आर नॉट, your do not answer is not right, your not gesturing is like that lost kid. Okay, so control on your gesture is very important. Your gesture must be same throughout the interview. Interviewer को पता नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, बाकी से गिल सर आप बताइए कुछ.
मुझे लग रहा था कि आप हर चीज का आंसर देते समय अननेसेसरी लंबा आंसर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
बहुत लंबा आंसर, सच में.
मतलब आप अननेसेसरी लेंथी आंसर दे रहे हैं. ठीक है ना, यू कैन कट शॉर्ट योर आंसर. आप जितना बोलते हो उसका 60-70% भी आंसर दोगे तो चलेगा. मतलब इनफैक्ट ऐसा लगता है कि आपको किसी ने क्वेश्चन दे दिया तो वो बोर होकर सुन रहा है, आप उसको दोबारा क्वेश्चन करने का मौका ही नहीं दे रहे हो. आप ऐसा लंबा आंसर खींच रहे हो. तो थोड़ा सा आपको आंसर को कट शॉर्ट, थोड़ा सा कट शॉर्ट करना, ज्यादा नहीं करना है. मतलब ट्राई टू बी प्रिसाइज, राइट. और इंटरव्यूअर को ध्यान रखना है, कभी कभी पैनल बोर हो जाता है, वो आपका आंसर नहीं सुनना चाहता, तो आप वहां पे पॉज लो और उसे दूसरा क्वेश्चन पूछने का मौका दो. सेकंड पॉइंट जो मैंने नोटिस किया है कि अगर आपको कई चीजें नहीं भी आती ना, आप अननेसेसरी उसको आंसर करने का कोशिश करते हो. ये आपका ऐसा पॉइंट है, आप बोल भी सकते हो कि सर सॉरी सर, आई एम नॉट अवेयर ऑफ इट, है ना. ये थोड़ा सा, एक तो आंसर्स को थोड़ा सा छोटा करना है और थोड़ा सा प्रिसाइज रहना है. बाकी जो आप बंसल सर ने सजेशन दिए, अगर आप उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करोगे तो आपका इंटरव्यू अच्छा है. देयर इज फेयर चांसेस कि आप सेलेक्ट हो जाएंगे.
इंटरव्यू काफी अच्छा है आपका सोनक, कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत अच्छा है. मतलब आपके फेस पे कोई भी मतलब ऐसा एक्सप्रेशन नहीं है कि आपको डर लग रहा हो या आपका कॉन्फिडेंस डाउन हो और आर यू फीलिंग नर्वस. हाँ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. मतलब यू आर नॉट फीलिंग नर्वस, यू आर फीलिंग कॉन्फिडेंट, एंड दैट इज अ प्लस पॉइंट. ओके, योर आंसर्स आर करेक्ट, दैट इज अ प्लस पॉइंट. टू मच डिटेलिंग इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. जैसे गिल सर ने बताया, अपने आंसर को थोड़ा ब्रीफ करो, प्रिसाइज करो, है ना. अदरवाइज द ओवरऑल इंटरव्यू वाज गुड यार. एंड ओवर मतलब उन जो पॉइंट्स अभी हमने बताया उसका थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखोगे तुम, अगर इंप्लीमेंट करने की ट्राई करोगे, सो टुमारो देयर विल बी अ फेयर चांस ऑफ यू गेटिंग सिलेक्टेड बिकॉज यू हैव अ गुड रैंक, good college, good percentage, everything is good about you, and you are just a fresher, no gap, so that is a plus point for you. बहुत बड़ा plus point है. तो फेयर चांसेस है कल सिलेक्ट होने के. ओके, डोंट बी टू क्विक, डोंट गिव योर आंसर इन टू मच डिटेल, जस्ट पॉइंट टू पॉइंट. मतलब इंटरव्यूअर को चांस ही मत दो आपके आंसर में से क्वेश्चन पूछने का, लेट हिम आस्क द सेकंड क्वेश्चन, है ना. अदरवाइज बीच में एक बार तो 2-3 बार मैं भी बोर हो गया था कि रुको यार बस करो. तो इंटरव्यूअर को कल ऐसा नहीं फील होना चाहिए. ठीक है, बाकी ऑल द बेस्ट यार.
अंकुर सर,
All the
अंकुर
best,
सर बताएंगे
Sonak.
क्या नंबर ऑफ ट्यूब्स और नंबर ऑफ लेंथ ऑफ द ट्यूब्स व्हिच वुड बी इंक्रीज इन ऑर्डर टू इंक्रीज द एरिया, क्या होगा उसका आंसर?
नंबर ऑफ लेंथ, जब लेंथ बढ़ा देते हैं ना, लेंथ इंक्रीज करते हैं, so that is always a good option, बट वहां पे प्रेशर ड्रॉप का एक पंगा पड़ जाता है, बिकॉज जब लेंथ इंक्रीज करेगी तो प्रेशर ड्रॉप भी साथ साथ इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. सो डिजाइन इंजीनियर को ना दोनों बातें ध्यान में रखनी पड़ती है कि लेंथ इंक्रीज करना इज ऑलवेज अ गुड ऑप्शन, बट प्रेशर ड्रॉप को ध्यान में रखकर. ओके, तो अगर ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन आता है तो लेंथ ही चूज करना तुम पहले तो. बट अगर प्रेशर ड्रॉप का कुछ अगर वो पूछते हैं तो तुम्हें बोलना पड़ेगा कि दैट इज ए डिटेल्ड मतलब डिजाइन प्रॉब्लम, दैट इज कैन नॉट बी एक्सप्लेन इन वन लाइन ओनली. तो प्रेशर ड्रॉप विल प्ले इट्स रोल व्हेन यू इंक्रीज द लेंथ, तो उसको ध्यान में रखना है. ठीक है, बाकी
थैंक यू गिल सर, थैंक यू अंकुर सर. हां सर, बोलिए बोलिए.
हाँ, बाकी बस जैसे गिल सर ने बताया इफेक्टिवनेस के बारे में, तो सिंपल क्वेश्चन था, तो मैं थोड़ा मतलब ध्यान रखना चाहिए ऐसे सिंपल क्वेश्चन का. तो
आपने ध्यान से सुना नहीं, क्वेश्चन वाज वेरी सिंपल.
हाँ,
और आपसे सेकंड क्वेश्चन ये पूछा गया था क्योंकि उसमें सीधा इनलेट या आउटलेट का टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस लोगे, वही एलएमटीडी हो जाता है जब स्पेसिफिक हीट इक्वल होता है.
एग्जैक्टली.
तो आप टेम्परेचर प्रोफाइल देखोगे तो हॉट एंड कोल्ड फ्लूइड पैरेलल चलता है काउंटर फ्लो में अगर बराबर हो तो, राइट. तो वो जस्ट आपको कंफ्यूज करने के लिए था. और जब फेज चेंज होता है तो दोनों काउंटर फ्लो और पैरेलल फ्लो हीट एक्सचेंजर इक्वली इफेक्टिव होते हैं.
एग्जैक्टली. बाकी ऐसे यही क्वेश्चन आने वाले कल भी, सो डोंट.
कोई इशू नहीं है, ये छोटा छोटा प्रॉब्लम हर कैंडिडेट के साथ आता है, राइट. दीज आर वेरी स्मॉल प्रॉब्लम्स. इसको लेके आपको टेंशन नहीं लेना है. आपको जो जो छोटा छोटा चीजें बताया गया आप उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करो बस.
बाकी सब ठीक हो जाएगा. मतलब टेक्निकल यू आर टू गुड यार, है ना. 57 रैंक है तो दैट इज नॉट बाय चांस, दैट इज बाय हार्ड वर्क ऑब्वियसली. तो टेक्निकल के बारे में डोंट वरी, दे नो व्हाट इज योर रैंक. मेन वेटेज इज ऑफ गेट स्कोर ओनली. Okay, just you need to be little patient, na? Little slow, and do not give your answer too much detail. Otherwise, the overall interview was too good. You are well prepared, and just ऐसा ही तुम्हें कल बताना है, and everything will be sorted. ठीक है? So all the best, Sonak, है ना? And you can leave now.
Thanks a lot, Ankur sir and Gil sir.
Thank you.